Well, hello, I'm Brigadier General Kenyon Bell, the Installation Commander here at Sheppard Air Force Base. And once again, we have an opportunity to visit with one of our mission partners here in a different type of Sheppard Speaks. But today I'm with the Sheppard Elementary School Principal, Miss Cindy Waddell. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you guys here.
It's good to be here. And, you know, there's no part of our mission that is more important than what you do here. Of course, the two training wings here, we're all about education and training. But the education that you give is really important for us because it's our kiddos. And many of these kids will grow up to possibly be one of the career fields that we train right here at Sheppard. It could be an aircraft maintainer, it could be a pilot, an engineer, a logistics officer, you name it. The sky is the limit for them. And we appreciate what you do for our team. So please just let me say that right up front.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your support and the support of Sheppard Air Force Base. My biggest goal is that students leave this place with great memories and that they come back and see me when they're adults. So maybe they'll be in one of those mission fields and come back and see me, and I always tell them to remember me when they get famous, you know.
Right,
so our mission is to support you guys as much as we can and love on your kids and give them the very best education. So we appreciate that opportunity too.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So today we're here set up in your library. How so important, you know. We have this motto that leaders are readers. And so, you know, so for the team here, if we have some little feet come running in, it's because they love their principal and they want to come and say hello. So we'll work through that. But there are a few things that we want to talk about today. Some pretty exciting things have happened for Sheppard Elementary School here recently. One being the Texas Education Agency just named Sheppard Elementary School as a Purple Star campus, which, as I understand it, it is about how the school takes care of supporting the children here on the installation or in your school that are military affiliated and their families. And it's not just the fact that you're here on a military base. You had to meet some very specific criteria to meet the unique demands and needs of military kids and their families. Can you tell us a little bit about that criteria?
Yes, sir. The criteria is just what we do every day. We connect with the military families. We try to provide things for the students that we can, and like I said before, the very best education we can. We take a lot of people on tours when they first come here to help make them feel more comfortable about having their students here. So we make that connection with the military. We also have an MFLEC counselor that we provide both to the parents and the students so that he can help them out when they are transitioning in or out. Those times are a little tough for kids, or when they have parents that deploy. So that's one aspect of it. Another aspect is that we keep everybody informed through our websites, through our Facebook page, things like that, with that communication piece. And just building that community, effort with Sheppard Air Force Base, Wichita Falls ISD, and Sheppard Elementary together to just maintain a good education environment for students. So we do all of those things, and we're very honored to receive that Purple Star Award.
Those are a lot of activities that you have going on. You mentioned the MFLEC, and MFLEC stands for something, right?
Yes, Military Family Life Counselor.
And what role do they play physically, and like how would you use an MFLEC? How would one of our kids use the MFLEC?
So if they have a parent maybe that's about to deploy, he'll meet with them and kind of give them some strategies on what they can do and how to prepare for that. And once they are deployed, then he continues to meet with them and ensure that they are, feeling safe about being here, feeling safe about their parent being away, and just kind of having that counseling conversation and just helping them through that. He also will meet with parents. He has groups like a mom's group that can come and meet with him and just discuss anything, and try to work through things when they come to this community. Sometimes they don't know anyone, so they're not connected. So he tries to connect parents that way by having those parent meetings, things like that. But with the students also, since he's here every day and around them, he's like a teacher to them, so they feel comfortable, having him go into the classroom and read stories with the kids, do some of the social emotional type support skills that counselors do with kids. So that's a great benefit to have him here full time.
That's huge. And we have a deployment here, commitment here on the installation. So we do have individuals who are away. And in fact, even right now, this time of year is what I call the triple threat. Parents are going to be away for Thanksgiving, the Christmas holiday and New Year's. And so it's tough for kids to handle that sometimes and adjust even during the PCS. So that's a big deal. And I can personally attest to the excellence that you all put out here, not just for support of the installation, but also for the kids. It's just tremendous. And your communication effort is second to none. You know, you talk about the website, but your own voicemails that come out, letting people know what's going on, it's a very soothing and comforting voice when you're telling us about things that are going on. So thank you very much for that.
Well, I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like it might be overkill, but I would rather give everybody more information than not enough information, so I appreciate that.
Right. Sometimes you feel like you're repeating yourself.
Yes.
But somebody didn't hear the message, so it's good to share. But there's something else that has also happened that is really worth noting here for Sheppard Elementary. And so the Department of Defense does the Education Activity Awards grants at various times. And I understand that over the past 5 years, Sheppard Elementary, for 3 separate occasions, has received $500,000. So even somebody with simple math can realize that that is $1.5 million over the past 5 years pumped right into this school. That's a lot of Scooby snacks, right?
It's a lot. Yes, we are very blessed to have received those DODEA grants. Like I said, all along, the military truly love their children and pour right straight back into them. So those DODEA grants have been just a tremendous blessing and opportunity for students here to have individual Chromebooks for every student, to have box-light TVs that, like the weathermen use, that are 10-touch. 10 kids can be on those at one time. Just the greatest technology in the region we have here, thanks to those DODEA grants. Also with that comes a lot of the supplies and things that we can offer to students that maybe other campuses don't have that finance for. So we feel very, very blessed to get that grant and carry that on, and like I said, just pour that right back into the kids and their education.
That's fantastic. In fact, those Chromebooks were very helpful when we had to end up closing school down as the coronavirus started to kick in the springtime, right? I mean, you were able to immediately move right into a virtual type learning environment.
Yes, sir. We were the first school to be able to pass out Chromebooks to every student, have them ready to go at home virtually. As a matter of fact, right now we have a couple of kiddos who are one is out of the country. He took his Chromebook with him, so he's able to stay on a virtual meet and stay enrolled at our campus and be back here within a couple of weeks. Also, for kids who've had to quarantine during this time and things like that, it's real easy for them to take their Chromebooks home and just continue that education without any gaps. They just carry right along, get on the Google Meets with the teachers during the day, get to see their friends and students, try to help them through that social emotional aspect of being out of school for 5 months, you know. So all of that is thanks to our DODEA grant.
Yeah, and you know, I know when last year when school ended and my 2 boys that were here, and then you all allowed them to keep the Chromebooks through the summertime.
Yes, sir.
And to continue to log in. I mean, that's just a tremendous service.
And that was
continued education.
That was again something that we felt like kids needed at that time, because everything was up in the air and unknown to us, something that we had never dealt with before. And so I asked my teachers, would they mind selecting 2 times during the summer that they could get on and do the Google Meets with the students, just to help carry over that social emotional support. A lot of students were having a hard time with that, not being able to be with their friends, and also the parent connection of that, so they can say, hey, my teacher's still there to support me and help me. So we did that during the summer, and that was a great benefit to everyone.
That's excellent. So, you know, we talk about coronavirus. It's a part of our life right now, and it's what we have to do. We have to work through it. Can you talk a little bit about some of the procedures that you have in place? And, you know, in fact, let me just share, you know, here on the base, we've been very fortunate to have a relatively low positive rate and continue our mission. And you also have had a relatively low situations where you have been disturbed or had to have people quarantined and et cetera. We, on the installation, continue to comply with all of the Wichita Falls Public Health District requirements, and then we have additional requirements that we levy. And I'll tell you, one of the things I'm really proud of is the fact that our personnel, from military training leaders to instructors to active duty and civilian workers and contractors on the installation, adhere to the right standards. And we adhere to the protocols that we put in place, which allows us to continue all of our missions on the installation. But you've had the same thing here within the elementary school, right?
Yes, sir, we have. We have our protocols that were set out by Wichita Falls ISD, and then we've gone a little bit more above that, just with the military families and the regulations that Sheppard Air Force Base has in place. So we have hand sanitizers all over the building, automatic hand sanitizers. And the Wichita Falls district has, their protocol is that if you are in first grade or up, you wear a mask. Well, our pre-K and kindergarten, every single student wears a mask.
Really?
And it's just part of their day. And it's so neat to see those kids that, if they don't have one, they're like, I don't have my mask, And so it's just part of training and being able to keep everybody safe. And like you said, we've had a very low rate of any positive cases here, and I'm very blessed that we have that. I think it's because we have those protocols in place. And then one of the other things that you guys carry over a little bit is the Sheppard Air Force Base holds a little bit stronger standard about staying home a certain amount of days until you're well or whatever. And so our families in the school district, if someone in the home is being tested, but they haven't got a positive test, families are still allowed to attend school. With Sheppard Air Force Base, if someone is at home and they've been tested, our families have been great about just keeping their kids home just to make sure.
Right.
So they go a little bit above and beyond to keep everyone safe, and so I just appreciate that. And our kids are just thriving here, and we've had a great success through this COVID. I know some people are hurting in the world because of COVID, but it just seems like we are flourishing and just going forward.
That's fantastic.
And trying to do as much as we can to keep everything as normal as it was, keep the kids involved in activities at school and things like that. So there was one instance where some kids at daycare got exposed and they had to quarantine, and one of the little girls was so sad. She said, I don't want to stay home. I want to be at school. So I love that. And because of that, they're practicing those protocols to stay safe and keep everyone safe. So
you don't hear very frequently in this time that any entity, and then now you're talking about a school in particular, is flourishing. Those types of words you just don't hear very frequently. But because of the things that you're putting in place and the protocols, the discipline of your staff, and the ability to put it in, and then of course the wonderful help of parents. It takes a lot for parents to be involved. You talk about the mask for even the below first graders. It's a joy to driving through the neighborhood, either as kids are heading to school or coming home, and you see the mask around their neck pinned to some type of lanyard like you have on, so they don't lose it, and it's just really cute. But they understand that this is a part of what we have to do right now. But the fact that the school is flourishing is fantastic.
Well, we appreciate that, and like you said, it's a lot of the parent support that's keeping that going, and teachers keeping the protocols of, just keeping everything clean and as safe as we can. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. So Ms. Waddell, it's that time of year. I see the wonderful decorations all around in here and coming into the school. See all the holiday decorations. All of us are gearing up for the holidays. And for us within the base, on the mission, the military side of things, we have what we call Exodus, and that's the period of time where people take their holiday leave and all of our students exit the base for a period of time, and then they go away and then they come back. What are some of the plans that are in place for Sheppard Elementary as far as the holiday leave and then what to expect when we come back?
Well, again, I really trust that the families here at Sheppard Air Force Base, like I said, they go above and beyond. So we've already had some that have said that they will be traveling, but they plan to quarantine when they come back just to make sure that everybody's kept safe. So anytime they quarantine, they can also go virtual with their learning so that we don't have any gaps there. They can continue to do that. I have a couple of my foreign students who are planning on traveling back to their country, And again, we have it in place where they can take those Chromebooks with them and continue to learn when they come back and they quarantine or whatever. So I just appreciate that about our base and wanting to keep everyone safe. And we'll follow those same procedures about making sure everybody's staying well, making sure everybody's washing their hands and doing all the protocols that we do throughout the day. And trusting parents. Again, we remind them, if there's anyone in the home that's sick or with fever, let's see what's going on there before we get them back in school and expose anyone else. And like I said before, our parents have just been excellent at calling and saying, hey, I'm being tested today, so I'm just going to keep my kiddo home until I find out. And as we've seen, we've not seen a lot of the sickness in our kids. I'll just be real honest to you, we've had one. So, and it was an older kid. So I feel like, the kids, we may not even know it if they have it. So we just try to teach them all of those protocols about keeping their hands clean and sanitizing often, keeping your mask on, staying as far, 6 feet apart as much as you can in the classrooms. And we've gone from 90 kids being virtual to 30. So, parents kind of they trust that we're doing all that we can do and they're doing what they can do. And so it's been very fluid and very easy to keep kids here. So I'm hoping that same thing continues after the holiday and parents are diligent about just making sure they're keeping everybody safe.
That's excellent. You talked about some of the dynamics that we have here with our international population. We have joint services here. It's not just Air Force on the installation. And everybody has their different dynamic of where they're going to travel back to if they're going to choose to travel. But through all of that, as long as we are adhering to our protocols, then we can keep everybody safe.
Yes,
so that's unique. And of course, with the numbers of folks, each family has to make their own decision based on what is going on and the dynamics that they have. But it is wonderful to hear that there's so much safety that people can rely on here at Sheppard Elementary in how you've conducted business here to be able to keep the kids safe and the families as well. So
yes,
that's fantastic.
I appreciate that. And again, it's the support from Sheppard Air Force Base and parents that really helps this be a little bit more of a unique campus.
Good stuff.
So,
was there anything that you want to share as we get ready to close up today?
I just, again, appreciate you guys being so supportive. Sheppard Air Force Base has always been very supportive of Sheppard Elementary, of course. It's your kiddos that we're pouring into, and you guys pour into them too. So we just feel very blessed to be able to help them and serve them, help the families when they're away from their family.
Right.
We want to be a family to them. So we just appreciate you guys and the support that you give us too. That's what makes it all work here very well. So thank you, sir. Well,
absolutely. We consider you to be a part of the family, a part of the big Sheppard Air Force Base family. And I know that you're connected in multiple levels, the wing leadership engagement, groups engagement through the mission support group and others. So we consider you to be part of the family. So we thank you for taking care of our kids and helping us take care of the mission out here at Sheppard.
You're welcome.
All right, so Ms. Waddell and all the team here at Sheppard Elementary, thank you very much from the principal to all the staff members. We appreciate what you do for our kiddos, and congratulations on being a Purple Star campus, and again, getting that DOD, the DODIA activity grant, because we know that you're pumping it right back into the school to be able to help our kiddos. Thanks a lot, everyone. Happy holidays to you.